Welcome back to the First Line Library. I'm Jordan, and today I have a special video for you. Let's get into it. Welcome back, guys. I'm so glad you're here. Cannot believe we are in summer already, and that's what today's video is about. Summer reads, or reads that remind us of summer, those summer vibes. So I have a handful of guests here coming to help me out with this video, so let's get into it.
Hello everyone, Sam from iSamwise here. Well, Jordan reached out to me, which is very kind of him, and asked me what my favorite summer books are. And the tricky thing is, I don't know that I have a good, clear answer for this other than just like books that I happen to read during summer, and now I associate the two of them. So instead, I decided to talk about a genre that I like reading in summer, and I think more fantasy fans need to read to, and that is noir. So you think like Raymond Chandler, The Big Sleep, those types of, who are some other noir authors, Dashiell Hammett. You think classic noir, Casablanca is in many ways a noir movie. Well, there's some fantasy versions of that, and done quite well. So that's what I'm going to be recommending here. First, the most obvious sci-fi fantasy example of this probably has got to be Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. This is popularly known as the movie Blade Runner, but the movie Blade Runner is much more cyberpunk. This is much more of a futuristic noir detective story, much less cyberpunk and more leaning into the trench coat and the heavy rain and the atmosphere of a noir detective story. So highly recommend that. But then I'm also going to recommend some lesser known ones. And because you're listening to Sam from iSamwise, I've got to recommend some Gene Wolfe, and that's going to be Free Live Free by Wolfe. This is a science fiction noir tale that is very different from what you would expect from Wolfe. If you're expecting New Sun, if you're expecting unreliable narrators, this is very different. But it's gripping and is a thriller, and you should definitely check it out. A man has his house that's going to be destroyed by the city, so he opens it up for renters to come and live for free. And, the plot twists and turns from there as the man who owns the house, Benjamin Free, vanishes the morning of the demolition. And so the renters have to try and hunt him down and also discover a mysterious treasure that's been alluded to. And plenty of Wolfian turns from there. I'll speed through these last ones. Werewolf Cop by Andrew Klavan. This is a great standalone novel that's a lot deeper than the pulpier title would imply. It's a lot more about a man discovering the monster within, typical for werewolf novels, but how that deeply has affected and damaged his family in some negative ways, and reconciling that while also seeing the need for monstrous peripheral figures in stories. So that, and then lastly I'll say Alternate Routes by Tim Powers. I've been reading a lot of Tim Powers lately, and I gotta love it, and Alternate Routes is actually a lot better than people give it credit for. This is not one of his highly praised novels, but it is noir in a lot of ways. It's his pastiche of cop novels, but with ghosts and Greek myth stuff being intertwined in it. So anyway, hope that's halfway coherent, and I definitely recommend you all check out some noir this summer. It's great for the vibes. Thanks for watching, guys.
Hey, I'm Andrew Wiley, and my favorite summer read is East of Eden by John Steinbeck. I happened to pick up this old copy at my favorite used bookstore, Wonder Book and Video. It's got the corny, I think, 1970s scene from the show on the cover, which I kind of love. But this is one of my favorite books, not just my favorite summer read, but it does make me think about summer because it takes place in California in the Salinas Valley, and it follows multiple generations of these families. So it's this kind of sweeping epic. John Steinbeck has a way of zeroing in on human nature and the nuance of being human in a way that I just have never seen anyone else do. And so this is one that I just go back to time and time again, and I find new things to love about it every time that I read it. It also has one of my favorite villains of all time. And this is a quote from John Steinbeck himself. "I believe that there is one story in the world, and only one. Humans are caught in their lives, in their thoughts, in their hungers and ambitions, in their avarice and cruelty, in their kindness and generosity too, in a net of good and evil. And it occurs to me that evil must constantly respawn, while good while virtue is immortal.
All right, so I have 2 picks for you guys. First is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. Now, this is your classic fantasy adventure book. I know a lot of people have already read this. It's okay to reread it. That's the beauty of it. It's timeless. It's a classic. If you haven't read it yet, pick it up now. This should be the first book you read this summer. Next I have is Z for Zachariah. This is a super short read. It's told from a journalist perspective of Anne Burden. This takes place throughout an entire summer. Really good read. It's all about this girl in the apocalypse, left alone until she finds somebody else. So those are my 2 picks for summer reads.
What is going on, guys? It's Josh from The Reformed Reader, and Jordan asked me for some good summer reads, and so I'm going to break the rules, and I'm going to give you 3 suggestions. The first is going to be the kind of book that maybe you don't want to get super invested in. Maybe you want something that's sort of a short read, maybe more of a palate cleanse that's going to be good, fun, and whimsical, and I'm going to recommend Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. Now, I've said that if you like the movie that you'll love the book. For me, my favorite parts of the movie were the first half, where it's the whimsy and the fun and the magic of the world, and less so of the war. And I found out later that the war aspect came from Miyazaki and not from the original work. So if you loved the whimsy aspect, the magic, the joy, the fun of the world of Howl's Moving Castle of the anime, then you're really going to love this book, because it's just more of that, and I actually prefer the book. So if you're looking for something that's quick, I would say reach for Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. Now, if you're looking for something that you can get a little more invested in, that might take a little bit more time to get through, but is that summer read, I would say look no further than Boy's Life by Robert McCammon, because this has very much a Sandlot kind of feel with a kind of thriller aspect embedded underneath. This is a fantastic story of a young boy in the 60s in Alabama, just living his life, and then events occur and begin to unfold around him. So this is a fantastic book. It's one of my favorite books of all time, and it's definitely my favorite standalone of all time. So then I would say, if you're looking for something that you can invest a little more time and effort into, I would say reach for Boy's Life. And then lastly, I'm going to say that if you are looking for a book that you can just immerse yourself in, one that you just really want to dive into and just stay in, this one of the greatest pieces of work of all time, I would say reach for The Count of Monte Cristo. Now, this is the book that I am currently reading, and I plan on taking my time with it because I love this story so much. This might be the perfect book. It might be a perfect book in my opinion. It is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm reading this with my wife currently, and if you're talking about a summer read, I don't think you can get any better than The Count of Monte Cristo. So Jordan, thank you for having me on. Guys, I hope these recommendations can be a help to you, and I hope you have a great summer of reading. I'll see you on the next one.
Hi everyone, my name is Paula, and Jordan asked me to share what my favorite summer read was. I couldn't just pick one, so I picked my top 3 books that I absolutely just adore and have had a lot of my friends also read, and they have agreed with me that they're just wonderful books. So first up, I have The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. This is one of my favorite romance books and my favorite Christina Lauren book overall. It is a dual POV fake dating trope book, one of my favorite male main characters ever. There is so much family drama in this book. I just couldn't stop laughing when I was reading it. So if you're into that, Anna and Liam are fake dating in order for Liam to be able to gain his inheritance. And so they go on an island for a wedding, and she gets to meet his very rich and very crazy family. So definitely recommend. I love this book. I was laughing the entire time I read this. So if you like romance, this one's for you. Next, I have Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. I love this book so much. I'm actually a very big thriller mystery reader in the summer. So I know a lot of people like to read them during the fall when it's kind of cozy and starting to get cold out. This one actually takes place in the summer though, and so I feel like that's what makes it the perfect summer read. We're following Mallory Quinn, who has just gotten out of rehab and she's trying to find a job. She ends up becoming a babysitter for a little boy named Teddy, and everything starts out normal until it just kind of isn't normal anymore. The best part about this book is that Teddy loves to draw pictures, and they're actually included in the book. So there's some really cool and maybe somewhat creepy pictures in here, but if you're into more of that thriller and a little bit into horror genre, then this one is definitely for you. I loved it. I can't stop recommending this book. And last, I have The Wedding People by Allison S. Back. This was by far my favorite book last year. I actually bought this book because of the cover. I just thought it was so beautiful. I had no idea what it was about. I didn't even read the inside flap. I went into it just having zero clue what it was about, and I think that's what made this book even better. I was genuinely shocked. I was expecting it to just kind of be really lighthearted and funny from the cover, and it actually wasn't. It was kind of deep, and I feel like there was a lot of self-reflection from the characters, but it was also really funny, and I feel like the ending just kind of wrapped up, and there was just so many beautiful friendships, and the main character Phoebe just learned so much about herself, and so did Lila, our like second main character. I love this book. It takes place in Rhode Island. If you could go into it without knowing what it's about, that's how I recommend to read this book. But if you do want to know what it's about, Phoebe wants to kind of just go to this hotel where she's been wanting to go for a long time, and her life hasn't been going well. Without spoiling anything, she ends up going to this hotel where she meets Lila, who is very upset that she's there because Lila has booked the entire hotel for her wedding. You can kind of imagine with that kind of bridezilla what's going to happen in this book. But truly, I just love this book. I love Phoebe so much. I feel like I could relate with her. She was just such a good character, such a good book. I definitely recommend. So thank you so much, Jordan, for asking me, and I hope that this helped someone find a new summer read to read.
Jordan, thank you for having us here to recommend our summer reads. We took this route today. This book is a Western. It takes place, you feel the summer, you feel the heat. So both you'll be immersed in the summer vibes, but at the same time, it's summertime. You have a little bit more time for yourselves. Take a little vacation and read a very long chonker of a book. Because it's long, very worth it. Because if you want some of the best character work you've ever read, it's Rich's favorite book. I love the book too. It's got incredible characterization, and it is purely a character journey. So you don't have to pick up this book and you don't have to plow through it. You don't have to sit there and read or binge this in a week. This can be something that you pick up along the way as you're enjoying your summertime. You're at the beach. You just want a classic Western that has something to say about humanity, death, life, and friendship. And it has it all in this hot, sweltering West.
The book's title is Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry, by the way.
Did I not say the book title?
You did not.
It's
my book.
Lonesome Dove.
My book for the summer. You have the time. If you're still in high school and you have summer break off, or you're a teacher and you have summer break off, you got the time. Sit down and have the journey of a lifetime reading The Wheel of Time. All 14 books, all in a row. Barrel through them, one big long book. One of the best American fantasy series, arguably the best chosen one trope ever done. My favorite series, my favorite fantasy series I've ever read. I highly recommend it to people who really like classic fantasy, who also love the modern fantasy. And also, main thing is, don't get so hung up on tropes that you've seen before. It's classic. You've seen these things before. It is an inspiration. But I think you'll love it if you love imperfect characters. Check it out.
Thanks, Jordan.
Well, hey, I hope you found some great recommendations for your summer reading. Thanks again to everyone who was part of this video. I cannot thank you enough. This was such a fun video to make. I hope to do some more collaborations in the future. But if you haven't yet liked this video and subscribed, please do so. It would really mean a lot to me. I hope to grow this channel to be able to talk more with people about books. Thanks again. Take care and God bless.